You have the Tennessee Titans versus the Indianapolis Colts. Titans, big win yesterday in overtime. But the Colts, I picked with respect to Tennessee Titans fans because I really do like Tennessee, and hell, they're 7-3. Both of these teams are 7-3 right now. I picked the Indianapolis Colts to win the division, and I picked the Tennessee Titans to be a wild card team. So that kind of gives you I'm not surprised by Indianapolis. Now, I thought Phillip Rivers would start the season a little bit better, a little bit faster. But as David and I talked about in recent weeks, the Colts are playing more of a pass-approaching game. Rivers has acclimated with Reich, and since that has happened, the Colts have been on a tear. They're also getting healthier on their already elite defense. I like the Colts. I still do. And the Colts are at home. But this is a big game. The question here, it's always just going to come down to the Tennessee Titans defense. Can they get it together enough? Because they're already a playoff team. Can they get it together enough to be an elite team this season? I don't think last year was a fluke, but losing, they lost a key a linebacker yesterday to the season, the elbow injury. That sucks. So we're going to see what happens here. In terms of daily fantasy, Ryan Tannehill got dropped in a lot of leagues. I can't figure that out. Although I think you can, probably start other people. You could definitely scoop him up off the waiver wire and play. He should not be dropped, everybody. Derrick Henry, you play every week. A.J. Brown, what a touchdown at the end of that game there, David. Holy end of regulation, I mean.
That was a tough game for me to root for because I have Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown in 100% of leagues. Or at least A.J. Brown. I have less Derrick Henry, but I'm a Ravens fan, so I'm like,
yes, no. Corey Davis is a start. I actually have a decent projection on Humphreys, but I stay away, honestly, from Humphreys this week. And Jonnu Smith, I actually think, has a tougher game this week against the Colts. For the Colts, Phillip Rivers, look what he's been doing the last month, everybody, for crying out loud. It's not the first quarter of the season. There's a reason he started slow, and it's a measurable reason. He's playing better now. I think he's a start this week. He's playing the Tennessee Titans defense, who hasn't been playing well. Do I think Jonathan Taylor finally got some volume against the Packers, right? Now, he kind of laid an egg against Tennessee the last time. Is this a Nyheim Hines game? Is this a Jordan Wilkins game? Is it a Jonathan Taylor game? Are they going to sign somebody off the practice squad and play? I don't know, but the opportunity's there in the run game. I am going to favor – I don't know. I'm going one way or another as we talk. I'm going to favor Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to double down on him, but we'll see. David, I'll let you clean that up. Look, I've been saying this for weeks, and he's still out there. He's still available. Michael Pittman Jr., everybody. What the hell are you waiting on? Pick him up. He's not Chase Claypool, but he's almost as big, and he has a quarterback that maybe isn't playing as well as Roethlisberger, but you can make the argument in recent weeks he's been playing better than Roethlisberger. Pick up Pittman for crying out loud. You missed out on Claypool like everybody else. You have Claypool Jr. out there on waiver wire. Pick him up for crying out loud. And then you pick up Indianapolis, we've been talking about in recent weeks. Indianapolis tight end. Who is it? Allie Cox? Doyle? Burton? This last week it's Burton. Take your pick, roll your dice. You got a 1 in 3 chance, but Indianapolis tight end will score. So pick that person up. And good luck to you.
Actually, it was David. 2 and 3 because Burton and Doyle both scored.
Oh, did they?
Past week against Green Bay. So 2 out of 3 chance, 67%. Better chance than you think. I guess you keep gambling on the Colts tight ends because do you really have any other options? I mean,
it's tough.
You roster them at least. Don't release them. Keep Burton rostered. Keep Mo Alley Cox. Jack Doyle's releasable. He shouldn't be on any rosters. But Burton and Cox, just hold on to it and hope that one of them emerges. And we've been saying this for a while now, but it's probably going to –
or gets injured non-seriously. But
it's going to take an injury for it to happen.
You're right.
But you don't have many other choices.
You're right. This is Higbee and Everett in the Rams. So you got to wait for consolidation of targets.
Yeah. It's a tough situation to be in. All around, I mean, with the Colts, because, like you said, we finally get a game out of Jonathan Taylor where he seems to take back control of that backfield, 22 attempts, 90 yards against Green Bay. Jordan Wilkins, only 4 attempps. Nyheim Hines, only 6 attempts.
How many catches did Hines have? Do you have that up?
Hines had 3 catches for 31 yards.
It's so bizarre
Jonathan Taylor had 4 for 24, so he had more receptions than Hines.
Rotating these guys around like crazy.
But now he goes back and faces the Tennessee team who had an absolute dud against 2 weeks ago on Thursday Night Football. So it's like, right when you want to have faith, it's kind of like I'm at where I'm at with J.K. Dobbins.
It's a leap of faith.
I want to see it happen. I've taken leaps of faith with both of these guys all year, and every time I've done it, it's gone very poorly, to say the least. So I guess Jonathan Taylor, he's a start. If you have better options, don't feel afraid to bench him again. Make him earn it a little bit right now. Make them give him the ball 2 games in a row before we commit to him. Michael Pittman, I like him a lot. I'm more willing to start him at wide receiver than I am willing to start JT at running back this week because he tore up the Titans the first time they played. He had 7 for 101, I believe, 7 for 101, and also a rush for 21 yards, and that he looked pretty good on that rush too as an end around. So he is the number 1 wide receiver to own right now in Indianapolis. T.Y. Hilton is dust. He is complete dust.
Yep.
He had 3 for 36. I don't believe he's surpassed 80 yards in a game all season, T.Y. Hilton. So Michael Pittman's the one to own. And we talked about Rivers. He's on ESPN. He's the 32nd most rostered quarterback right now. He's the least wanted starting quarterback in the entire NFL. Jimmy Garoppolo and Gardner Minshew are rostered in more leagues than Phillip Rivers right now. He's thrown 10 touchdowns in his past 4 playable matchups. We're just going to throw out the Baltimore matchup because absolutely nobody should have been starting him in that matchup. But look at the past 4 games other than that. Cincinnati, 44 attempts, 371 yards, 3 touchdowns. Detroit, 262 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tennessee 2 weeks ago, 308 yards, a touchdown. Green Bay this past week, 288 and 3 touchdowns. And it's the attempts. He didn't go above 30 in 3 of the first 4 games, below 30. The past 5, or 6 I should say now, 33, 44, 33, 43, 39, 36. The passing volume has come up. They're finally trusting Phillip Rivers. And then look at the schedule after Tennessee this week. Houston, Las Vegas, and Houston before they finish up with Pittsburgh week 16. But he's a great, I hate to say, he's a great pickup in super flex leagues, especially where he still might be available. In 1 QB leagues, maybe he's worth the stream as well. He's hot right now.
Yeah.
They're passing the ball more. He's got good matchups. I mean, you could do worse than Phillip Rivers. And he definitely in daily fantasy, he becomes someone worth considering.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me hit you with the line here, man. And both of these quarterbacks, again, Tannehill, both of these guys are underrated for fantasy football purposes. But Bovada has Tennessee plus 3.5 at Indianapolis. Who you got?
I definitely don't want to pick this game. I'm going to pick the Titans to get a little bit of revenge here, though.
I'm going to stick with the Colts at home. I just think the defense is getting better and the offense is getting better. And I really like the Tennessee Titans. I do. And I think they're a team that's built for the playoffs. The defense has to get better. And so when I say offensively, I would say they're about equal. I would say defensively, Indianapolis is ahead of Tennessee right now significantly. And because of that, I'll take them there. Although as a bettor, I would not give the extra half point. I would hope that this game gets bet down to 3 points, so I wouldn't actually take this and put my money on it. But I'll take the Colts. They're playing good football. I'm going to double down. Now, this is huge for the Titans because you can't go down 2 losses in the division against Indianapolis because then you have to finish. They're effectively, even though they're in the win-loss column, they go down 1 game. They're effectively down 2 games because they can't leapfrog unless they finish with a better record. So big game, man. Big game. Another division matchup.